as you said, everything is set. Let's look through the matchups for Saturday and Sunday. Let's give some predictions. Let's see if that gaudy cloud shall rain terror on teams
What?
other than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
What?
I mean, the first game that pops up here, you have a white hot Indianapolis Colt team versus another hot team. Obviously, their division. Actually, I think all of these teams really have played each other in this game.
I'm sorry, sir. Apparently, Chris decided he wanted to lose his mind today.
I'm going with Houston.
You know, don't doubt Deshaun Watson out.
Definitely
Don't
not.
doubt him at all. Like, he can do. I mean, we talked so highly of him. This is still another QB that we talked highly of when he got drafted. In fact, we both said when the Houston Texans traded up to get the number 10 pick in that draft, we both text each other at the exact same time. They're getting Deshaun Watson. They're
And
getting
he's a
him. They want
quarterback too.
him, and it's gonna happen.
You know, he's a championship quarterback, so it made sense to take him.
I totally agree. 100% agree with you. I mean, this is gonna be a fun game to watch. Like
Can't wait.
we have a Colts team that started 1-5, that for the rest of the season pretty much only lost what 2 games in that stretch
Yeah,
since then,
one game.
and
They,
just been dominating. And one of the things that we talked about, especially in more detail, off the podcast, was the improvement of their defense.
yes,
We have an anomaly with the Indianapolis Colts defense showing up to play, making big plays, getting people off the field. Holy crap!
and let's give credit to Andrew Luck for staying healthy this year.
And
Where a lot of people thought
let's
he was gonna
give
be done.
massive kudos not to Andrew Luck, but to that offensive line.
They
Yeah,
did bring in
that's
some.
that is the big story when it comes to the Colts offense. Because I mean, Andrew Luck, he could still sling it out there,
He can.
but
And
if he's running for his life, as you like to coin the term, or is
uh,
constantly, knocked down to the ground, like, it's gonna be hard for you to score points. Look what happened to Aaron Rodgers.
this is true. And I will say it's so crazy to see an off season where there were rumors swirling that, teams were calling like, hey, is Andrew Luck available? Could you imagine if they would have traded Andrew Luck?
I highly doubt they would have done that, though. Like, I highly doubt it.
I mean, you
I
never
mean,
know.
Jim Irsay is like all over this. Like, no, it's not
You
happening.
just, you just never know with these teams. They're
It's not
crazy.
happening. But the other key thing, and we'll talk about the Texans in a second, because I know you want to talk about those receivers.
Oh yeah.
But let's talk about and this is my opinion, the rookie of the year on the defensive side of the ball, Darius
Hmm.
Leonard, who's been a tackling machine.
Yes,
163 tackles in the season. Like, he's a beast.
he is. And I wish, for a change, I had him on my fantasy team, but I think somebody snatched him up pretty early because, it's hard to get a linebacker that consistently makes tackles like consistently every
Yes.
game. And he's definitely one of the best to do it this year from South Carolina State. And I think he's a catalyst for their defense. I think him and some of the other young players that they brought in, because I think they did a nice little overhaul over the last year or two, and they had to
Yeah.
kind of reshape their defense. And let's give credit to the first year coach too. I mean, think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You're 1-5. A lot of fans are probably like, "Oh, let's tank. Let's go for the first round pick, the first overall pick. Let's go get whoever, whatever bright-eyed, whatever high potential player is out there that the team wants." You know, but they said no, we're gonna keep fighting, and that's the kind of team that I can root for. A team that keeps fighting no matter what, and I like that.
Which is why you also rooted for the Browns too, especially once they, had their, towards end of the season resurgence. I mean,
Well, I like Greg
people,
Williams.
he's not going to be there. We both know this. That's a fact.
I'll be honest with you, I would be 100% on board with him getting any head coaching job. Like, if he's, I mean, outside of the whole Bounty Gate in New Orleans, like,
Mm-hmm.
he's really been a good coach. Like, he brings attitude. That's the thing you like about people like him, is that he brings attitude. And a lot of teams, especially teams that I like, they either have it or they don't
Don't.
have the
Yes.
attitude. And I like the fact that he makes his teams aggressive. And you saw it in Hard Knocks. Oh,
Yeah.
quit hitting the quarterback. Well, somebody block him. I like that. I love that.
although it didn't necessarily translate well on the field the first couple of weeks though.
Well, that's why they got rid of those coaches who wanted them to lay off the quarterback, who didn't say anything to like, you got rid of those guys and you left the one guy who you knew could get the other players to rally behind. And I like him.
I
But
agree, but I mean, let's go to the other side of the field real quick. Let's talk about the Houston Texans. I mean, you got Deshaun Watson, Lamar Miller, Alfred Blue,
hmm
Demarius Thomas, Anthony Hopkins. I mean,
I think Demarius Thomas, if I'm not mistaken, he might still be out. He might still be out. I want to say that he.
I thought they were saying that he might. Well, he's gonna try to get there, like being able to play.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's going to try. I mean, because they
It's the
haven't made the
playoffs.
playoffs.
Yeah,
He
it's the
hasn't been in a
playoffs.
playoff in a year too. Um,
He
so
has to sit the
you know,
playoffs since he won the championship. But then again, it
exactly.
wasn't because of his contribution though in the Super Bowl. Ooh,
I can't believe you said that.
but it's not untrue.
Yeah, I think he's going to be out. I think if they make it to, no, looks like, yeah, it says, well, this report says his season is over and possibly his career. So I think he's out.
Ah, well,
Rough.
that's
Yeah.
upsetting. That's upsetting
No,
because I
yeah.
know they were saying like he really wanted to try to get back, but I mean, we'll definitely wish him luck though. Wish him well in his
Right.
future endeavors.
Uh, right. But they do have Hopkins on the other side.
Yep.
And the one thing somebody mentioned that he didn't drop any passes off
He
for the
didn't drop
year. I don't
any passes for the entire year. Exactly. Yes.
know. I'm not 100% sure what counts as a drop. But I was watching an NFL replay earlier when they played the Colts earlier in the season, and it was the fourth quarter, and the ball hit his hand and then hit the ground. So I don't know what they consider a drop or not, but it looked like he dropped the ball to me. Sure looked like a drop to me.
Yeah.
I was gonna let it go, but I looked at it and I was like, well, he had a shot to not only bring that in, but also score a touchdown because his feet were
Uh,
in. And I was like, I don't. I think he had a drop, but I mean, I'm gonna let him keep his claim to fame, I guess, and no drop.
yeah.
But that's okay. That's okay. He's good. He's still a good player. You know. wanted to point
only
that
you,
out.
Doc. Only you, Doc.
That I think I saw a drop in there.
Oh
But
goodness.
short-handed though. I really like him. I love Lamar Miller. I think Lamar Miller is a
I
work.
don't know why you out here trolling people.
I'm not trolling, man. I'm just telling it the facts. I mean, this is what we do. I mean, he had the ball in his hand. His feet
Hmm.
were down, he was falling backwards, and the ball kind of trickled out of his hand a little bit.
That is a drop.
Just, I'm just saying. I don't know if people saw the replay, but I saw the replay today, and I kind of
I feel
thought
like everyone turned to look at the beer vendor. Beer,
pop
beer, beer. What? Oh wait. Oh, that pass must have been over his head. Yeah, I don't know.
Dilly out here.
Dilly
Dilly, dilly.
dilly. Wait. They're not paying us. We can't use that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, you're right.
Can't use that.
But I don't want to talk. I don't want to focus on the offense. I think we know what we're getting from the offense. I really want to focus on J.J. Watt and Javanian Clowney. I
Javavian
mean,
Clowney.
those are the two guys I think that are going to decide this game. Obviously, we know what J.J. Watt brings. I'm happy to see the Texans not playing the Patriots right now.
I am also happy with that.
So I need them to beat the Colts,
I totally
and
forgot
then
that they had Tyrann Mathieu on the team.
yeah, he hasn't been really. Don't get me wrong, he's good, still good, great talented player, but
You about to get all these Honey Badger fans at your they're gonna be at your door with pitchforks.
I don't think he has the personality, I guess, because this defense is so. This team is bigger than the Cardinals. I mean, the only person he had to deal with before was like Larry Fitzgerald.
Yep.
But you're talking about now, you have big personalities on this team. Larry Fitzgerald and Patrick Peterson. But now you're talking about D Hop, you're talking about Watson, you're talking about Watt, Clowney. It's a lot to deal with.
Merciless, yeah.
Exactly, merciless, exactly. But I really do think the Texans are going to win the game.
I'm gonna actually agree with you. I feel like, when it comes to crunch time, you need someone to make a play. I feel like our boy Watson can pull it out.
Absolutely. Um, so let's stay in Texas, and we're going to move on to Dallas versus
Wait,
Seattle.
hold everything.
Checking your room. You got to check
I need to
outside to make.
check,
Yeah, lock the
make
door.
sure
Lock the door.
because I know
Lock it.
they're waiting to hear what I gotta say,
All
and
right.
you know, depending on what I say, they may love me or hate me.
I mean, but hate it or love it, the underdog's going to shine, right?
Something like that.
Something like that.
All right, let's talk about them Cowboys facing off against the Seahawks.
And this is the famous game that Tony Romo dropped the ball, isn't it?
This is a very famous game when Tony Romo dropped the ball. In fact, that was the very first storyline that people started talking about when it came to this game once Monday hit.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to avoid it. Obviously, I didn't want the Seahawks in the playoffs, but I mean, they made it, and
Yeah,
they do what the
they're
Seahawks do.
they're a very scary team.
They are. But I don't know.
Like a very scary team with two very underrated receivers.
Yeah, Tyler Lockett. I like Tyler Lockett a lot.
Like
I really
very
do.
underrated.
I do.
They don't get enough respect that they deserve at all.
I think that must be what Jason Garrett and the Cowboys brass must have been thinking when they started the season with Cole Beasley as their number one receiver. They must have been thinking about the Seahawk receivers.
No, that's a very bad idea. Why would you do that, Jerry? You only have one job to do, Jerry.
Get receivers.
Oh, the fact that you saying that.
I mean,
Cole
think about it, though.
Beasley is the combination of Doug Baldwin and Tyler Lockett. Are you serious?
I think it was Cole Beasley and Terrence Williams was supposed to be Tyler Lockett, and no, no Doug Baldwin, Tyler Lockett.
Let's
So
move on. Let's talk about the other weapons that Wilson has. Uh,
they
they
have a
actually
committee
have
running
a
back.
very good running back by committee
Yeah.
with Carson, Penny, and I want to say Mike Davis as well too. But I think they have him as questionable for Saturday's game.
Yes. And then of course you have to worry about Russell, who doesn't run as much as he used to,
He
but
doesn't, but when he does though, it's craziness happens.
he's another one of those winners.
I
You
mean,
don't know how he does it,
chip
but
on
he
his
wins.
shoulder. I mean, Pete Carroll took a chance on him, and it played out really well. Like, think like how apropos is it that when he got drafted and the Legion of Boom led them to a Super Bowl, people were like it was only because of Marshawn Lynch and that defense.
Right.
And how
Now,
ironic now that people are talking about Russell Wilson potentially being top 5 QB right now in the league. It's ridiculous. And that being said, I mean, even just look at the past 3 games that they've played. And people are still talking about, oh well, the Seahawks beat the Cowboys early on in the season, but it's a different Cowboys team. And while I agree with that, but what people fail to realize too is there also a different Seahawks team as well too. A Seahawks team that is run heavy now because of this running back by committee. And I mean, as much as we, praise and give so much acclamation towards the offense, that defense is no slouch. Still with KJ Wright and Bobby Wagner. I think we lost the doc for a moment, ladies and gentlemen.
there
It's
we go.
okay.
Can we just come back and say that this game is really going to come back down to Dak?
This game is every Cowboys game is always going to come back to Dak. I said this after that preseason when you said, "Oh my gosh, Dak is going to be so good." That
I said that?
preseason. Yes, you said
Me?
that. You said that. You said
It
that.
was,
We
oh
could go
my
to the
God.
tape.
I just said
he
he
was
was
like,
playing.
he was like, Dak is over there just killing it.
All I said was that he was playing well. I never said he was going to be killing it. He was doing very well. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, a lot of people do well in the playoffs. I mean, Ryan
In the
Fitzpatrick was doing
preseason,
great in the preseason, excuse me.
I was like,
I mean,
what? What? How many players games did Dak win? Wait, what?
but honestly, I really, and, you know, I usually don't know in these kind of games, but I just don't know if the Cowboys can stand losing this game. I just don't think like they have to get to the NFC Championship. Like they have to. If they do not, I don't know if they can handle it. So I'm going to give them the nod only because I feel like Zeke is going to come in rested and they're going to feed him this ball 40 plus and he's going to wear him down.
I agree with you. The last 5 games, maybe 4 games, uh, the Cowboys' defense at home has been just mauling people.
Absolutely.
Even thinking back with like their game against the Saints. I mean, the game that really started off. You know, oh my gosh, the Cowboys are back and they're coming back to the Super Bowl. We got that. We got Zeke, and we going to the Super Bowl.
What I will say, if they wind up getting matched up again against the Saints, there
Oh no,
will
this
be a
not happening twice. It's gonna be in New Orleans. Like they're not gonna. They're gonna. They're gonna. They're going to. They're gonna
yeah,
Clemson them.
yeah, it's not happening. But
They're gonna Clemson them.
I'm gonna give the Cowboys the nod. I'm gonna say that Dak's gonna have an efficient game. Maybe have 4 to 5 incompletions. They're gonna keep it short. They're going. He might not throw for 300 yards or nothing, but they're gonna keep it concise and persistent. He's gonna get the ball to Cole Beasley and Amari Cooper, those tight ends that he has, and I'm gonna give it to the Cowboys.
I am going to disagree with you, and
Oh,
here's why. We're gonna
don't
get the
disagree.
same situation over and over and over again. Jerry Jones is going to dictate how this game is going to go. Russell Wilson's going to sling this ball.
I don't know.
And it's not going to be like how the Saints were that one game where Drew Brees kept throwing it terribly. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to be like, oh, well, if Russell can do this, so can Dak. And
Oh my
Dak is
God.
going to throw the ball. And he's going
Nope.
to throw picks.
Not buying it.
He's going to throw 2 picks in this game.
I don't think so. I think he's going to keep it. He's going to protect the ball. Maybe 4 to 5 incompletions. I guess 6 tops. But they're going to keep that ball on the ground, and he's going to keep it short.
I can feel a cloud. It is freezing rain out here in Dallas, and that is just foreshadowing what's going to happen on Saturday.
Maybe 19 of 26 for like 240 or something like that. One touchdown.
They're gonna want him to be just like Russ. They're gonna try to. You want me to tell you why? Because if the Seahawks offense is playing like how they've been playing the past couple of weeks in Jerry's world, oh, you dang sure believe that Dak is gonna throw this ball.
I think Chris Richards and
Now, if Jason Garrett and his offensive staff are able to control the clock, which is one of the things that they've done very well, I'm going to give them compliments because I don't want people to think I'm a hater. I'm trying to be really subjective about this.
be a hater.
If they can control the clock and allow Dak to get those short routes to Cole Beasley and intermediate routes out there to, what's his name, Amari Cooper, then they'll definitely have a chance to do it. And their kicker kicking field goals correctly, too. Because that was also sort of an issue. You know, the ghost of Dan Bailey kind of haunted him a little bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I'll say is that I really, really feel that Chris Richard and company with the defensive, because I think Chris Richards coaches the defense with, oh God, I can't think of his name right now. It just slipped my mind. Whatever. We're just going to skip past it. But the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, who used to be a Bucs coach, that's why it's like driving me crazy. He's also the head coach of the Detroit Lions. I feel like they're going to have Russell Wilson.
There's the jaw. There's the jaw. You know you did it.
Russell Wilson.
There you go. I was like, if he would have said it slowly, I would have lost it, ladies and gentlemen. I would have lost it.
Brooke. But no, Russell Wilson, I think they're going to have a game plan for him, and the coach is Rod Marinelli. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I had just said his name like the last couple of days because I wouldn't be surprised if he started getting coaching opportunities because he's been pretty good. He wasn't a great head coach, but I don't think anybody's been a really good head coach for the Detroit Lions. So I think they're going to have a really, really good game plan against Russell Wilson. Their defensive ends are really good. I just think the Cowboys are going to win. So are you saying that you think that the Seahawks are going to win?
I am predicting that the Seahawks will win in a potentially close one. But like I said, Dak's going to throw 2 picks.
Gotcha. Okay.
Greater than or
And
equal to 2 picks.
I don't think he's going to do that, but I get it. Let's move on then. Let's move on to the AFC, where for
AFC.
the third time this season, the Los Angeles Chargers, who used to be in San Diego, which I really want to say San Diego,
Uh huh. Don't
but
worry. I mean, that's
didn't
be another two
do it.
dollars in that jar.
It's all right. Are going to go against the Baltimore Ravens
Mm-hmm.
for the third time. Lamar Jackson, he's had about 7, 8 games of experience. He's not throwing the ball a lot, but they're really running him. I mean, they're really taking advantage of his athleticism, using
Yes.
his speed. They've brought the option game in, and they're letting him run with it. He looked great out there. I think there was 1 or 2 plays that I know he wishes he would have back, but ultimately, I'm not 100% sure if they're going to beat the Chargers on this game.
I think the only way that the Raven, and I'm also gonna say the Chargers as well too, because I feel like they're gonna definitely bounce back because they had a little bit of a bump in the road towards the end of the season.
Right.
The only way that I can see Baltimore winning this game is they pull a trap card to use a Yu-Gi-Oh reference and
Not a
have
trap.
the LA Chargers defense expect them to do a lot of run pass option and have them believe that Lamar Jackson is going to run the ball. Or in fact, he'll start throwing the ball a lot more efficiently because